What's going on? Good weekend. Had some guys that really stepped up and played well in a football game on the road. That was a big emphasis, getting that first road win of the season. All three phases played well in that football game. We had a big return by Travis Terrell. I thought Jacoby and Morgan played well. Taquan Henderson stepped up and made a big play defensively. I think we ended up with 4 or 5 sacks, and Sayers Guthrie had a great game. So very solid win this weekend against a solid Texas Southern team. We just got to regroup and get ready to go on the road again and do it this weekend against a Cornell Maynard-led team in Alabama A&M.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about y'all had to find a way to win on the road, and now that you guys got that win, going to face Alabama A&M, what have you seen from this team if you turn on the film?
Big up front. They got a lot of size on the defensive line, big up front. They got a linebacker that can play real well. We faced this defensive coordinator last year. He was at South Carolina State. So kind of got a good feel of what he wants to do defensively. Offensively, they are putting up some good numbers. They play about 3 different quarterbacks right now. So we just got to figure it out, rely on our strengths, which our defense is playing well, and continue to generate explosive plays on the offense.
Can you talk about the job Jacoby did? I think he had 4 total touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about what he did?
He stepped up and played well. We saw he had a good week of practice, though. He really had a solid week of practice. He was doing some good stuff out there. The thing we were concerned about was him having chemistry with a bunch of new guys out there. Some guys had to step up with some receivers down in injury, and he did that. I was shocked to see him break such a long run. I'm always messing with him about his top-end speed. And I think the defensive end almost caught him, but he made good decisions. He did have the 1 turnover early, but he played good football on Saturday that led to that win.
Are you a fan of neutral site games?
I just gonna play. That's how I look at it. We just gonna play. This is year 4 for this classic. So, I'm happy to go back to Mobile and take care of business down there. See, the great Hall of Famers, an alum here, Robert Brazil, called me the other day. He's excited about Jackson State coming to his hometown. So, I'm looking forward to it.
So there's no push to kind of get the gate back at home stadium?
That's not up to me. I leave that up to the ADs and the presidents to make those decisions.
Coach, how do you keep the guys away from all the hoopla surrounding this classic?
Shoot, none of that's for us. We'll go down there for the banquet, I think, on Friday. But other than that, we're going down there for another Eastern Conference game. And that's what we got to stay focused on. Alabama A&M, they had a bye week due to the weather. They were supposed to play FAM. So they had an extra week to prepare. And, we just got to focus up and take this one serious because, like I said, it's an Eastern Conference game.
This was Jacoby's first start since the ULM game. What was kind of the decision that led to that?
Just saw it in practice. He like I said, he had a great week of practice, going out there executing the game plan. We felt comfortable with him going out there and doing it. So he solidified that in practice all week long.
And is he the starter going forward?
Yeah, we're going to send him back out there this week. Going into this game, I thought he answered a lot of questions for us, stepped up as a leader, and then, like I said, he was generating explosive plays, and the guys around him are starting to believe in him as well. So we're going to continue with Jacoby.
And I know you mentioned it a little bit, but can you talk about that wide receiver room that really stepped up from
Yeah.
a lot of injuries in your score?
Yeah, Taquan Henderson played well. You saw Isaiah Spencer go up and make a play on a post route. Janaelin Dupree, all those guys, it's just the way that we recruited. When you lose a Rico Powers, a Fabian McCray, a Kobe Paul, that next group of guys got to step up, and we believe in those guys. They're young. Jonas Fortillion is having a monster year right now. You just throw the ball anywhere close to him, he finds a way to make plays. So Coach Marshall has been doing a great job with those guys, our receivers coach. So I believe in him, and believe what those guys have been showing me week in, week out.
When it comes to cleaning up turnovers, is it something you say, or is it something you do at practice, or a combination of both?
Both. We've been emphasizing it. We do ball security drills. We always talk to the guys about keeping the ball high and tight. You emphasize that's how you lose football games, and you just got to continue to preach it to the guys.
You all were able to get that first road win. What's the message to the guys to keep that momentum as you all go?
Staying consistent. staying consistent. That's something in that game I had to get on them after the half. You saw that Texas Southern got back, was close to getting back in the game, 27-14. We got a tendency when these guys get a lead, they get a little lax, but we got to stay consistent. And I understand that teams ain't, it's 4 quarters of football. Teams are not going to lay down. So no different than this weekend. If we get that lead, we got to continue to stretch that lead and keep going. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all. Mm-hmm. Hello. Shoot 'em all, baby.
Everybody's ready, we can open it up.
All right, Coach, just an overall assessment of your defense this week.
Oh, man. Came out with scrub blockers up front. I'm always going to start with that because that's the mindset we have on defense. They had 2 yards of carry for offense that wanted to run the ball. That was very impressive. Gave up 1 or 2 explosives on the back end on some communication stuff that we got to get cleaned up. But overall, I was proud of them. The disappointing part, we don't know how to finish the game yet. So we still yet trying to finish the opponent off. For some strange reason, the fourth quarter, we starting to spot points. So that's the disappointing part that we got to get cleaned up.
You guys ever feed off the offense when the offense starts rolling? The defense all of a sudden gets a little more inspired, or is it just an individual thing?
We try to make sure it's the other way around. We try to make sure we give them the juice, especially from the energy that the coaches give off. We got a young defensive staff. So every day at practice, every game, they turn.
Coach Taylor did bring up earlier about kind of like finishing off games and staying, intact the whole game. Does that kind of start at practice, or is it a mentality thing, or where is that kind of?
I can't pinpoint it. If I can pinpoint it, it'll probably be fixed already. I can tell you this, it don't start at practice. They know how to finish that practice from play 1 to the last play. Everybody continue to be locked in. But for some reason, when that scoreboard change and you finding yourself dominating your opponent, everybody just get relaxed. And maybe the experience got to fix it, but we got to get it fixed.
Was there anything that you really wanted to clean up from the Texas Southern game, or were there areas that you all kind of highlighted that were good?
Finish your opponents off. That's about it.
Facing Alabama A&M this week, have you turned on film, and what have you saw if you have?
Explosive. Probably the best offense we done faced so far. And, the quarterback, very dynamic, make great decisions. They got a nice running game that complement the quick game. And like I said, a lot of explosive plays. Probably the most explosive cut up I have ever watched. So this is going to be a challenge.
How much has that defensive line and even linebacker group has helped this season? I think I saw somewhere where I think Texas Southern was at a negative rushing yard, but I think in the second quarter, something like that. So how much has that up front group been dominant this year?
It's all up front. I think it started with Coach James. Like I always say, he's a technician, and he got the kids believing in it, and so it's paying off from a scheme standpoint until the fundamentals and technique, playing a big part of how we playing up front.
Any other questions? No. All right.
All right. Yep.